Both of us worked in our parents' bakery. And so I guess in our weekends we always used to help our parents, and they used to make mochi as a traditional dessert. And so we really learned that craft, and we'd seen our parents make it for many years. And so when we tried the mochi ice cream when we went traveling in America and in Japan, we thought, oh my God, this product's magic. We love the texture and the ice cream, and we thought we need to bring this to Europe, and we were the best place to do it because our parents had been making mochi for so many years.
Your course is uncharted. And you're deciding, do we launch trying to sell to supermarkets, which was always our end goal, or do you start selling to food service? Do you open up a shop? What are your flavours that you're producing? So I think I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, so the early days really suited me in doing lots of different things.
So I left a big corporate job, and when I first started I realised I couldn't just pick up the phone and call IT. I was head of IT, I was head engineer, I was head bin emptier, but you've just got to pull your sleeves up and get stuck into every part of the business.
Making the product, planning packaging, doing the branding, doing the marketing, but it was tough.
There's always something that's just always in the back of your head of what can go wrong. And so I'd love to say, hey, it's all about self-care, switch off, go for a run. I do all those things, but I still can't sleep, ever. You?
I actually sleep really well, so...
Choosing your business partner is a really important element of the success of the business, and learning how to work together. So whether it's your brother or your friend, I think it's really important that you both understand how each other work. And I think there's lots of personality tests that can help you assess how you can work together and things like that. And so it's definitely been a journey for my brother and I to learn.
By complete luck, we happen to have quite polar opposites in terms of our skill sets and way that we approach problems, which at times has been challenging. But actually we've realised, looking back, it's been a real benefit to the business. You have two different ways of looking at things, and we have a debate. We don't really argue, and some of the most important decisions have been a kind of collaborative effort of working out kind of who's got the right way of looking at things at that time. You know, I have a lot of friends who are sole founders, and I think it can be quite a lonely place. So it's nice to have someone that you can talk to on a level rather than, you know, people on your team. So I'd highly recommend it if you can find a co-founder. I guess the added complication of your brother is you bring in sibling dynamics to the workplace, which aren't necessarily helpful. So it's really good to learn that and identify when that's happening, and to make sure that you remove that. I think from the early days, kind of word of mouth has always been super important, and for any small brand that doesn't have a big marketing budget, you kind of rely on people sort of word of mouth. And we used to sort of have chefs talking to other chefs about us, and that's how we've really grown. And I think social media is just a digital turbocharged version of word of mouth. We've always focused a lot on making sure our brand looks great on social media and is the sort of brand that people want to talk about.
But TikTok absolutely elevated us to a different recognition in the eyes of the public, and that was absolutely transformational for us. I think that's really hard for you to control. You can't necessarily go viral on TikTok. You know, it's not something you can plan, it just happens. And so we were really lucky that happened for us. Early on in your journey, I think you just think your business isn't worth anything. Your idea is worth so much money, so try not to give away much share capital as you can. Just make sure that you try and keep as much for yourself, because through your journey I think it will get more and more diluted, so just don't give away too much at the beginning. We didn't get any investment until 12 years into the business, and we just bootstrapped the whole time. We were really lucky that we were able to learn. We were building a new category, so there wasn't like huge competition coming in, so it just allowed us to grow using our own profits.
On the back of our explosive growth for the last year, we just saw an opportunity to, we call it a race to the shelf, so to grow faster and be more ambitious.
Alcaterton just really got us as a brand, and during all of our initial meetings it became really clear that they understood consumer brands and they were interested in growth, and they knew how to do that. And
they also really coincide with our values. So when we talked about our aspirations for ESG, they were fully supportive from the very beginning. They have such great connections to people, to experts that can come in and advise us on all sorts of different things. So yeah, it's been a really positive experience. We haven't taken a proper holiday since the transaction, and during the whole transaction I was just thinking, I need a holiday. But since it's closed, there's just so much to do.
If you think about your team, because we don't need to celebrate success, we're always on to the next thing, but you've got to think about your team and they need that recognition, and it's about culture as well. So if you think about their needs, that's where, like when Howard said, like we have some great people that, hey, we should go for a drink and celebrate, and we're like, yes, we should.
At every stage of our journey, it was a little test to see how big we could get. So initially selling into restaurants, the big question is, will people order it? And when we found out we were the best-selling dessert at Yo Sushi, we were like, wow, that's amazing. But then that's success in a Japanese restaurant. So the question is, will it translate into success in a supermarket?
Our first retail listing was with Whole Foods, and we became their best-selling ice cream. And that was when we got really excited that we worked as a retail brand as well as a food service brand. And then as subsequent listings came with Ocado and Waitrose, and then obviously Tesco's, we just thought, wow, we really hope that we can become a nationwide brand.
So we were always quite cost conscious, and probably too cost conscious. Like we were quite slow to hire and build the team because we were always trying to save money. But I think the lesson we've learned over time is, building a team and getting great people on the team is so important to help accelerate growth. Definitely surround yourself with the best people you can. I've seen other brands sort of scrimp on some of the senior leadership team and try and save like £10,000 or £20,000 here and there, but actually it makes a big difference in terms of the quality of your team.
I didn't know how hard it would be and how it just completely takes over your life, but I also didn't know how rewarding and fulfilling it can be.
Having a non-executive director who can help advise you, someone who's done it before and can help you navigate some of the challenges a bit more quickly, has been super useful for us, and I'd recommend it, I guess, to other companies.
So you took a significant minority stake from L. Catterton, the largest consumer private equity house in one of the largest in the world. Generally, how did you find going through a transaction of that nature?
I'm not just saying this, it's incredibly stressful and it takes over your life, and you have to stop running your business basically to run this transaction, but it really helps to have good advisors like Joelson. Joelson have really added value to Little Moons in terms of not just legal advice but commercial advice, and I think that's what sets Joelson apart.
They have so much experience in doing deals of our size and working with companies in the food space in particular, and I think the benefit has just been it's been a really pleasurable experience. Like we really like all the people that work at Joelson.
Because I think you really have to trust your advisors, and we definitely trust Joelson and Phil to provide that to us.